Recently, Tesla has gotten some pretty bad PR in one of the most awkward ways possible, an almost scathing Consumer Reports review. It's based specifically on one of its new driver assistance features called Navigate on Autopilot. Navigate is a new rollout from Tesla and part of its enhanced autopilot package. It adds lane changing and essentially allows the car to drive itself for you while you're on the highway. I've got a copy of the report right here, and it says, and I quote, "The driver often had to prevent the system from making poor decisions. It passed other cars in ways that violate state laws. And using the system is like monitoring a kid behind the wheel for the very first time. As any parent knows, it's far more convenient and less stressful to simply drive yourself." Well, I'm certainly not convinced, so I've enlisted the help of a tried and true Tesla owner to check it out for ourselves. Shadie, you think the Consumer Reports review is bogus? Let's check it out. So right now, we're just about to get on the highway, and we're in regular autopilot.
Yep.
Can you tell me the difference between regular autopilot and then this Navigate on Autopilot feature?
So yeah, the regular autopilot is literally just, it's like lane keeping and traffic aware cruise control, so it's going to slow down, speed up for the car in front of you, try to reach the target speed that you've set. Navigate on Autopilot, it's trying to get you to a destination. The one added piece is that it's going to determine what lane is best for you to be in at any given time.
Okay.
Normal autopilot, you say I want to change lanes, you click the blinker and it'll automatically execute a lane change for you. In Navigate on Autopilot, which is going to turn on right now, it will attempt to make lane change decisions for you in order to get you to your destination. So right now we're on this on-ramp, and I'll be honest, I have no idea what's going to happen because this lane merges into one, right? So we're in one lane now and we got to kind of negotiate this. The car still thinks it's got a lane and the car to the right of me has a lane, so it might not really play nicely here. We'll see what happens. I'm very interested to see. But it's probable that I'll have to pop out of it here because this is kind of nasty. Now, of course, it sees this car next to me and it's not going to want to hit it, hopefully. Oh, maybe. Okay. That's beyond my threshold. But now that I've re-enabled it...
What do we do?
Exactly. I mean, I don't think it would have hit it, but it probably would have, like, braked suddenly, like, 3 inches away from that car. So now that I've re-enabled it, it's like, okay, I've got one lane, and it saw that car, so it let them go ahead, and it snapped in. So you can see that car is darker on the screen. That's the car that it's kind of locked onto as the one in front of it.
How long did it take you to get comfortable?
Yeah, that's a good question because like I had the car before Navigate on Autopilot existed.
Yeah.
So I had already gotten used to autopilot. And that took quite a while. I'd say like maybe a couple weeks. You kind of get a feel for what it's going to be able to do and what it's not going to be able to do. Once they added Navigate in, then it was another transition period of maybe about a week before I really got a good feel for how it behaves, you know, how aggressive it is or how aggressive it isn't. What I've found is that usually like it'll turn the blinker on and then the car, you know, to your side and behind is like ready for you to merge, but it wants them to be further back, so they'll just kind of wait and then it'll never go over, or that car will get frustrated and just zoom past you because they don't want to wait for you any longer. So I found that it's actually pretty timid. And if you're okay with that, it'll still get you where you're going. It might not get you very quickly.
For those who aren't aware, there are different levels of intensity that even the Navigate on Autopilot feature has. There's the mild,
None, mild, average or standard, and then Mad Max.
Yeah, so there's like 3 different levels of it, and then there's like
just turn it off entirely.
Turn it off, yeah. Well, and so the Consumer Reports review that they did of Navigate on Autopilot, you believe that it was focusing mainly on the Mad Max mode?
I assume they must have been in Mad Max mode if they were passing people on the right and cutting off people and all that stuff. Like that's usually pretty benign. So this guy's going to merge in here, and it's going to lock onto him and let him go. And now it wants to make a left merge, and it sees that there's a space, and so it's going for it. Now this guy's also going though, so it's going to brake all of a sudden. I know, okay. Pete's scared. I know what it's going to do because it's going to see that car before it's too late. No braking coming from me. I'm just, my hand's on the wheel, but I know what it's going to do. So I'm like, oh yeah, he's going to merge in. It's going to be a little scary because we're accelerating, and then it just stops.
It looks to me as we're going through this that it's like it's a level of trust that you have to build with the car. this is establishing the difference between an owner of a Tesla and like somebody who's more experienced.
And I think that's what the Consumer report missed.
Yes.
Is that like you can't just throw somebody that's not familiar with it on the wheel and just say go and get the same result as somebody who's, you know, kind of grown with the new system and understands what it can and can't do.
Yeah.
So that they have the comfort level of like, should I be worried right now? Oh, I shouldn't be worried right now. This is fine.
Yeah, it's like you're throwing someone into a totally new ecosystem that they're not familiar with and expecting them to get it immediately.
Yeah, so now it's changing lanes to the right, not to pass, but because we're getting close to our exit. Usually about a mile or near a mile from the exit, it starts moving over. And then it'll take the exit and turn off.
Well, that was one hell of a ride. It was fun in the same sense that waiting out a tornado from the basement of your glass house is fun. You have a feeling of impending doom, but you just don't know when the danger is gonna strike. Consumer Reports made Navigate seem way scarier than it actually is. I almost didn't pee my pants. It's common, I have a weak constitution. In all seriousness, I was very surprised with how Navigate works. Pretty impressed, and I dare to say it is a game-changing technology. When you get behind the wheel of one of these, you will be surprised. It may not be a good surprise at first. I think all in all, a person's reaction to Navigate's, let's call it responsiveness, is gonna have a lot to do with a person's comfort level with the vehicle. The more you drive it, the more you're used to it and familiar with it, the easier it is to trust the Navigate feature to do its job.